In this video, we'll be talking about natal sun in Taurus in the 7th house and what this placement means for you if you have it in your chart. And with that being said, what the sun represents in astrology is it represents the quality of our actions and how we come across to others, especially based on how we want to be seen by others through our actions. And that's because the sun rules Leo, which is a fixed fire sign. Fire is about action and fixed is about a constant state or a constant way of being. So the sun shows the way that we constantly tend to act. And when the sun is in Taurus, which is the sign of quality, value, possessions, and worth, which also takes the form of talents, this shows people that whose actions are motivated by this desire or this want to be valuable or to demonstrate worth. So their actions are either motivated by this desire to acquire more worth or to demonstrate worth to others and to be of value to other people or in the eyes of others. Especially these people will also be quite ambitious for that reason and be driven towards success and fame sometimes, or this desire to be known. But that is only in certain placements of Taurus Sun. But I feel like all Taurus Suns have a ability to achieve that. And that's because the sun, when it's in Taurus, is in the 10th sign from its own sign, because the sun rules Leo. And the 10th house is all about fame, success, and ambitions. So with that being said, the sun in this case is in the 7th house, which is all about our way of relating to others. It's all about our relationships, not only to significant others, but also to best friends and also to family members even. Anybody that has a personal role in our lives. But also the 7th house can just show how we relate to others in general too, and what makes you relatable. So when the sun is in Taurus in the 7th house, they show somebody that wants to have or display value in their relationships or in their way of relating to people in general. And this placement is all about having value or talents that are relatable or perceivable or desirable by others. And that's because the natural sign that has the 7th house in Taurus is Scorpio. Scorpio is all about the values of others and it's all about desires. And the 7th house is all about our relationship to other people. So anyway, when the sun is here, people want to be desirable or perceived as valuable by other people. And the only downside to this placement is that sometimes these people do things or act out of this desire to please others or to adapt or appeal to other people's values and not their own sense of self-worth or their own interests. So anyways, their actions are very focused on just appearing valuable to other people instead of sometimes cultivating their own personal self-worth. But that is a side note. The next thing that this placement shows is that your energy is it is to act as a resource that people can depend on. Because Taurus Sun shows somebody that is also quite self-reliant and that plays the role of a provider in relationships. And since it's in your 7th house, this is about relationships. And a lot of times what it shows is that you like to be a resource to your partner. And that comes with this desire to have or display value, as shown by the sun being in Taurus. Now next, when the sun is in the 7th house, this shows somebody that is a good communicator. And with this combination of Taurus, I could see that this placement makes you quite a good salesperson. And like you're just somebody that's good at selling others on an idea or just selling yourself or selling the things that you're into, and making it interesting or appealing to others. And that is because the sun in Taurus is all about being resourceful and practical. And when it's in the 7th house, they show somebody that is practical about what will best appeal to others, and is also resourceful about their own appeals, or the things that will make them interesting to other people. Now, finally, like I was saying, the sun, when it's in Taurus in the 7th house, is a placement of Scorpio. Some of you guys could have a different ascendant, but the natural sign that has the 7th house in Taurus is Scorpio. Scorpio is all about psychology. Now, next, let's talk about the fact that Venus is the ruler of Taurus and is also the ruler of the 7th house. And Venus is all about beauty, value, and desire. So a lot of what motivates these people's actions is the concept or the theme of value or beauty or desirability. And so this placement shows somebody that is quite attractive and desirable by others. And that's because also these individuals that have this placement will always act in a way that will give them the best reaction from others, or that will give them a valuable reaction. And why I say valuable with such emphasis is because Taurus is the sign of value, and the 7th house is about how we get reactions from others, and it's about the consequence to our actions, or how relatable that we are to others. So generally speaking, people that have the sun in the 7th house, they always act in a way in order to receive the best consequences from their actions or the best reactions from others. And Taurus is about value. So a lot of times these people that have this specific placement of Taurus sun in the 7th house, they are good at getting the desirable or the valuable a valuable reaction from others. And this could come in the form of money. So these people are good at asking for things, or like I was saying, they are good at selling things. They're good salespeople, salesmen or saleswomen. And that is because when the sun is in the 7th house, like I was saying, it shows somebody that is a good communicator, because when the sun is in the 7th house, it's in the 3rd from its own house, which is the 5th house. The 3rd house is all about communication and wit and being clever. So anyway, that's another thing about these people's this placement and these people's actions, is that they always tend to be thought out. Their actions are subconsciously, clever or calculated, but on the surface they just appear quite relatable to other people, and people don't see this constant thought that goes behind these people's actions, their words, and how they express themselves. So to really summarize this placement and to summarize the talents that these people have, first of all, these people will be psychologically talented that have this placement. And secondly, they are quite aesthetically gifted, especially with things that have to do with design or art. And that's because the 7th house is about harmony and balance, and Taurus is about the senses, and it's about value and beauty as well. So these people have a good sense of fashion, or of design, of art, or of quality just in general. And finally, the last talent that they have, before I go into that, the reason I bring up talents is because Taurus is about talents, and when the sun is here, it almost always to me indicates somebody that has a specific talent, especially depending on the house that it's in. So for you in this case, the last talent is business sense and charm. So these people know how to sell things and how to strike a deal with others, and that could have been a big part of their traits as a child too, is that they quickly learned how to make deals with other classmates that were in the same elementary schools as them, or with their family members and their siblings. They were good at striking deals and agreements, and they just had that trait very early on. So, and then that is basically the talents of this placement. The last thing though that I forgot to mention is that when it comes to relationships and relating to others, the people that have this placement, like to maintain power and autonomy within the relationships by remaining healthily self-reliant within relationships, and that's because of the influence of Taurus. And this trait of self-reliance gives them a little bit more control or say within their relationships, and being able to cut themselves off strategically in order to get, the reactions from others, or like to threaten that. And usually they never resort to that because they do have a comfort or this talent of relating to others, but they always hold that capability, or they hold that power, and that comes from that Taurus power that they have with the sun being in Taurus. Taurus is very self-reliant, and it creates power in relationships. And also when the sun is in Taurus, it shows somebody that wants to be a provider, and they're quite ambitious themselves in their own life, even if they're in a partnership with somebody else that is successful and puts food on the table. They also have that quality within themselves, and this gives them power and autonomy as well in relationships. And again, that is Taurus Sun. So yeah, that's what happens when you add it to the 7th house of relationships. So that summarizes what I wanted to talk about for this video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed, and that this resonated. If you did relate to this, or you liked this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more content. If you'd like a personalized natal chart reading, where I make a video covering each of your placements and your chart, then check the link in the description to my Patreon, where I make a free natal chart reading for each of my Jupiter tier subscriptions. And also I have a discount for my basic level patrons, 50% discount off readings. So anyway, also I have an email in my description if you'd like to contact me that way for a reading or for any other inquiries that are more specific. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting in any way that you do. And I will talk to you guys sometime soon in another video. Thanks for watching.